I'm Agent Proper, and this is the Daily Nosis. Phil was playing Sleeping Dogs DLC content this morning, but in the pre-stream, he decided to take a question from a cheer about why he doesn't do any home tour videos anymore. Phil went on a nice little detractor rant because, well, why not? He needs to play the victim, and here it is.
And I used to do condo tours where I would show you guys the art and everything, and you guys really liked it, all right? So here's the thing. Back then, two things were key differences from today. First of all, back then, all right, it was a different time. I could actually do a condo tour, and people didn't dissect every little piece of the video to say, oh, look, this is bad about Phil, and this is bad about Phil, and look, here's a piece of information we can use to harass Phil. I just hate to say it was a different era where people were mostly positive about me and my content on the internet and basically weren't trying to ruin my life at every turn. So I could actually vlog my house and not worry about, oh God, they're going to see a piece of paper on it that references my electric company, and they're going to call my company impersonating me and try to turn my electricity off. Or, oh look, they're going to see a coffee maker on my countertop and go to Amazon and say that coffee maker is a $500 coffee maker and try to spin it that look how much money I spend on frivolous shit. You know what I mean? Like, it was a different time where people were like, wow, this is fun. He's a content creator. We get to see his place and he's sharing with us personal stuff. This is really neat. It was mostly positive reactions to that kind of stuff. So I was okay with showing off my collections, with showing off things that I personally owned and stuff. I was totally okay with that. Now, in addition, at the time that I used to do that kind of stuff for you guys all the time, I was big on YouTube. I had lots of views. I was making lots of money. It was a different era where basically ad revenue flowed like a golden river. I know this sounds silly, but it really was a different time. Like, you could put out a video on YouTube that would get between 10 to 30,000 views, and you'd make hundreds of dollars on the ad revenue alone, you know? It was very, very profitable to be a YouTuber back then. So I was making so much money. Keep in mind, this was before I moved, before I got myself up to my eyeballs in debt like I did and all of that. It was a very different time for me where for the first time in my life, I was making more money than I knew what to do with. And so what I would do is I would go to gaming conventions and I would meet the fans and do special things and vlog from the conventions. But one of the things that I enjoyed doing for about a 2-year period is going and doing shopping in the game marketplaces that were in these conventions. And, you know, sometimes I would add to my classic games collection. Oh, look at this. I got the Mega Man classic games, and now I could go home and do playthroughs of these Mega Man X games and stuff like that, right? That's how I actually got most of the Sega CD collection that I got and ended up doing videos on and stuff like that. But another thing that I very much enjoyed is I liked being a patron of the arts. Hang the art up in my house. I would do vlogging to show you guys the artwork, and I would basically give free advertisement to those artists whenever I showed that in my house and plug them and stuff like that. Now, then things changed because I moved across the country in 2014, and, you know, basically I had to work my ass off constantly. I didn't have money anymore to go to conventions. I wasn't able to travel at all because I had no money. And I just had to work. And that's kind of the situation I've kind of been in. As I've told you guys, this year is a critical year for me. All right? Because depending on how things go, actually later this month, when the IRS contacts me about my tax situation, I start working with them on it and everything. We'll be in a situation where once that's figured out, I'll finally be able to sit down and look at what I make versus what I need to spend and budget and say, here's what I've got. Here's what I make, right? What can I do? Can I maybe improve my business? Can I go and spend some time with my wife, go on a trip or something? You know what I mean? Like, I'll be able to finally look at those things, all right? But for the last, no exaggeration, the last 5+ years of my life, since I moved out here, I was not able to do any of those kind of things that I used to do back when I was a single guy in Connecticut and I was rolling in dough. All that went away when I moved, okay? I took on a lot of new responsibility, a lot of new obligations, and basically, because of the decline of my YouTube channel and everything, it didn't work out very well. You know, it wasn't until this year that I'm starting to at least start to get back on my feet. Okay? So, I agree with you, Snorlax. I really enjoyed for that period of time when I was able to go to conventions, buy gaming art, support those people, show that stuff off on my videos and stuff. It was a really cool and unique time. I loved that aspect of being a content creator. I did. I loved, because I told you guys I was more personable than a lot of other content creators, the amount that I was able to show and share with my audience and everything. But that's a bygone era. You know, now anything that I showed you in my house, immediately shitheads would say, Phil spent this on this, and he did this on this, and he did this. I can't believe he's spending money on this, and this, that. It's so fucking retardedly stupid and messed up what these people do. It's to the point of insane obsession.
Some choice gamer words there, and we'll see if that leads him into any trouble. Probably not, because Phil seems to still be protected for some reason. Phil then went into playing The Last of Us 2 to finish that up in the night stream tonight. And what he decided on doing was clowning it up during majority of this playthrough, as well as coming to the conclusion that the game hurt his feelings. And therefore, comparing it to the decent graphics and gameplay, the story brought the game down enough to give it the Phil middle-of-the-road seal of approval at a rating of 5 out of 10, because Phil doesn't have any opinion of his own. And I say that because Phil has invested some strong amount of time playing both The Last of Us DLC, and The Last of Us Part 2, but he can't form an opinion and give the game a definitive rating without complaining about how the game, in Neil Druckmann's opinion-enforced storyline, made him feel bad. It's kind of pathetic, right, guys? But, I don't play these games. Somebody might have to fill me in later on. But otherwise, the community was quiet, and hopefully you guys are off on the right foot for this week. And we'll see you tomorrow for a couple new videos.